Thank you for this beautiful nation, wonderful sunshine, and thank you for the rains we have had, and for all that you have done and is doing for us, we pray. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for hearing and blessing us, we pray. In the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
At this time, I must welcome everyone to our meeting this morning. All the councillors, the different agencies, especially our Minister of Local Government and Rural Development and his team from the ministry this morning. Sir, you are welcome to our meeting this morning. Apologies for absence. Okay, thank you. Any other apology? As you are aware, Councillor Vassar wasn't here when we were taking our oath of office, and at this time, we are going to allow him to take his oath of office.
Morning, everyone. Because of my religious belief, I will affirm. I do the affirmation. I, Ron Vassal, do solemnly, sincerely, and truly declare and affirm that having been duly elected to the office of the Portland Municipal Corporation, I will duly and faithfully fulfill the duties of such office without fear or favor, partially or ill will, and to the best of my judgment and ability. Thank you.
At this time, we're going to have nomination for the deputy mayor. Second by Councillor. Any other nomination? Any other nominee? But this is the procedure. Okay. Councillor Bassi, you were overwhelmingly declared as the deputy mayor for the Portland Municipal Corporation. Let's give him a... Correction and confirmation of minutes, page 310. Page 311, 312, 313, 314, 315, 316, 317, 318, 319, 320, 321, 322, 323, 324. Yes, Mr. Man. Which page? Okay. 324, 324, 325, 326, 327, 328, 329, 330, 331, 332, 333, 334, yes. Mhm. Okay. 335, 336, 337. If there are no further corrections, can someone ask for the minutes to be confirmed, please? Yeah, concern. Okay. Matters arising from the minutes. Matters.
Yes, I'm happy to now report that all our elected officers, to include the mayor and the deputy mayor, have now taken their oath of office and they're now ready for duties.
Okay, thank you, CEO. Item A, read Buff Bay Market.
Honorable Desmond Mackenzie, Minister of Local Government and Community Development, Acting CEO, Mrs. Megan Bramwell, fellow directors of the corporation, members of the senior staff corps, external agencies, members of the media, invited guests, and members of the public, good morning. Since we last met here, I'm happy to report that the issues that we were facing at the Buff Bay Market is now beyond us. Construction is in progress, and we are now out of foundation, and we're expecting that the contract will flow smoothly. As we speak now, a site visit was done yesterday, and everything is in order as it relates to the flow of the work. So I'm happy to report that we are back on track, and the contractor is well aware of the demands of the council and what we need to do to complete within time. Insofar as the Musgrave Market is concerned, I'm also happy to report that we have a schematic drawing for the Musgrave Market at this time. We have engaged the service of a commissioned land surveyor to confirm some points that we require to advance the drawings of the Musgrave Market, and we are in constant discussions with the Ministry of Local Government in terms of how we finalize on this project. But we are flowing smoothly, and as I would have indicated previously, we have sought the support of the Ministry for some financial assistance to do some remedial work on the sanitary facilities there, because we know that the complaints that we are receiving from the meat market and personnel. So I'm happy to report that we are at the procurement stage in terms of execution on that work. In terms of the Never Antonio Park, as we are aware that the Never Antonio Park is under contract as we speak, but there are some challenges because we are asked to rid the facility of the vendors that are there. There's a clear pathway that the council have discussed in terms of removing the vendors in the next 2 to 3 weeks so that we can hand over the facility to the contractor to execute on that project. And that project is being undertaken through the Office of the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation.
Item D, we Jamaica Agricultural Society building.
I am to report that the decision of council last month has been communicated to the Jamaica National Heritage Trust and also the Jamaica Agricultural Society as it relates to the fully hoarding of the JAS building on Harbor Street. All right, hearing me? Okay, the items from pages 313 to 337 can be removed.
Okay, back to the agenda. This time we're going to have suspension of the standing orders to facilitate so corporation is to sit as local board of health, local board of health matters. Yes, Mr. Yu.
Honorable Minister Desmond Mackenzie, the Mayor of Port Anthony's Worship, Paul Thompson, directors of the council, your managers, my external agency partners, a pleasant good morning to you. I stand here to give the environmental health section of the local board report. The medical officer of health is unavoidable absent. As I said earlier, there is the Know Your Numbers campaign on the park, and she's participating in that activity as the coordinating person. The entire report has been sent to the municipalities. Okay. With respect to food safety, Mr. Chairman, the Portland Health Department continues to carry out all our duties in that respect. We conducted 18 food handling clinics, and 254 personnel attended that clinic. However, we're having some challenges wherein we're having difficulties having some of the people attending the clinic. They're hiding sometimes. So we are taking necessary steps. We are taking some people to court to have them come to the food handlers clinic because they are actually operating outside, breaching the regulation of the food handling regulations. With respect to the food handling establishments, there are currently 1352 food handling establishments, and at this point in time, 89% of them are certified. We know this time, Mr. Chairman, that at this time of year, there's a tendency for persons not to apply for their food and establishment certificate. They generally focus on paying off their taxes and all of those tax obligations. And we have always encountered a lower rate of certification at this point in time. As we move forward using different strategies, we intend to move the certification status up back to our regular 95 and beyond where possible. Tourist establishment is at current time at a 91% certification. Likewise, swimming pools. Mr. Chair, last month when we stand here and report, the amount of meat inspection was at 75,070. That has been drastically reduced. It was not unexpected though, because last month the College of Agriculture put into the system a significant amount of poultry meat due to the fact that they had initiated a production facility using a ventilated fowl pen, and that whole had about 25,000 birds, and all of that was slaughtered with our help the last time around. That now is no longer there, and we are discussing with them how do we partner to ensure smooth processes as we go forward. Approximately, however, this month then the amount of meat inspected by the team is 37,178 kilograms. 2% of that was condemned for whether disease process or just plain breach of the public health rule or contamination. With respect to special event, we continue to monitor all special events that come to us for as application. 24 such application came to our offices, and we processed all and recommended 21. 8 are still pending they're meeting the requirement. The events have not yet been held. I move, Mr. Chairman, to one of our major programs, the Vector Control Program. I take this opportunity to present to you, Mr. Chair, that the objectives of this program are being met. The objectives are such that our major objective is to ensure that all the vector indices are at the required standard as set out by the Ministry of Health, guided by the World Health Organization. And as such, I am happy to report, Mr. Chair, that all our mosquito control indices are below the standard, particularly the BRA2 index, which should be less than 25. I must tell you that it is just about 3. The container index is at 0.7. The Aedes permicide index, I refer to as a mosquito index, is at 1.6. It normally should be 5. So we are, and normally in Portland, because of our rainfall pattern and our climatic condition, we were normally working with 15, even though 5 were, but at this point in time, we are now at the point where we can report that we are below the required standard. The report is available with the different graphs and tables to show you how the trend is over the last 6 months. Mr. Chair, we were able to likewise, as you are aware, and our report over the last year, that we were targeting 15 communities for mosquito control under what is called the 15 for 15 initiative to bring down the mosquito breeding in all of these communities. The data I just presented prior to what I just said speak to it, and at this point in time, we are almost complete the survey and the activities in these 15 communities, and we hope to finish that by the end of this month. Matter of fact, Mr. Chair, Norwich, Brombrook, and Sherwood Forest are the only, a matter of fact, part of Sherwood Forest are the only 3 communities that have not been completed as yet, and we intend to carry out that in the next 2 weeks. With respect to other activities, rodent control. we were able to carry out rodent control activity through the town, and I must say at this point in time, thank you very much, Madam CEO, the Director of Finance, and with the support of the Mayor and your respective directors, that we carry out the activities. We likewise use the money to ensure that the infirmary was baited and reduce any aspect of rat population on there. So that is good. With respect to the port of entry, we know that there was a decline in the number of vessels coming into the port. Last month it was 27. Same month last year it was 23. This month is 20. We likewise carry out all our surveillance activities. All persons coming into the port, with respect, they have all their vaccination and they present it to us. We monitor people for yellow fever, and all persons from yellow fever endemic countries were monitored. They did produce their vaccination. Mr. Chair, schools, at current time, 86% of the 107 schools on our records are in a satisfactory condition. We carry out routine activities at the 3 nursing homes, and they are in good stead. Likewise, we carry out activities at the infirmary, where we monitor those facilities monthly. With respect to schools, as I revert, we had a best kept competition in order to ensure that schools are in good condition, and we had a best kept competition in the western side of the parish, particularly from Hope Bay through to the Buff Bay Valley and Buff Bay. And the competition was won by the Shirley Castle Primary School, Infant, and the Broomfield Primary School. An award ceremony will be held in June to present to them the achievement for the best kept school in the western region, in the western part of this parish. Drinking water, Mr. Chair. We note a decline in the drinking water quality so far as bacteriology and chlorine residual is concerned. We took 64 samples and we got a 74% meeting the requirement. The National Water Commission and the PMC had variation in that respect. We note, Mr. Chairman, and I want to bring to this council again, that there is a concern that there are 2 untreated supplies that person think are okay, and we are saying to this council they are not okay. And note I said untreated supply, namely the Lennox and the Cooling Spring roadside supplies. The samples returning from the laboratory show that they had high fecal coliform in them. We had from time to time over the years informed the communities that they should take all the necessary steps to ensure that the water is treated, since they continue to use it. Notwithstanding, Mr. Chair, this person says that it's the best water. We are warning that that's not the case. We continue to monitor the supplies that reach us from St. Mary through the IT Borough supply. It is what's in good stead likewise. Chlorine residual, we had a 81% compliance rate for chlorine residual for all the supplies that we monitored. Mr. Chair, as I come to the end of this report, I must tell you that the public health inspectors had their planning retreat, where we looked at what we accomplished during the year past based on a fiscal plan, and we plan forward for the year ahead, which will be 24-25. We know, Mr. Chair, that overall we are comfortable for most part with our vector indices, and we will continue as best as we possibly can to drive the indices as far down as possible. We know, though, Mr. Chair, we are into the rainy season, and while the indices at this point in time are low, there is the possibility that breeding will continue, and we have sufficient number of persons in the community. We have about 20 workers thereabout in terms of insect inspectors and larvicidal workers with the complement of public health inspectors, as we had improved our cadre over the last 4 months. So that in itself is helping us to drive the indices down. Notwithstanding, we ask of community members to ensure that they help us while we help them to, and as councillors, I ask of you to implore of them that they can do search and destroy on their own property once per week. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Are there any questions?
You mentioned the cooling spring what? Good morning. You mentioned the cooling spring water. Is that one to your left going to Swift River? That's on to your left?
Yes, it is. When you leave Hope Bay going up the hill,
To your left.
it has a big fig tree, and it's coming out under the ground. We're
Okay.
right at the wall.
I've never tried it, but I was told it's the best. But you just now explain that it's not the best.
Well, so you are now informed.
I'm now informed.
Yes.
What's the question? I've not heard you mention this one. What about the one down by Canewood, to your right? There's a little.
Yes, I am aware of that one.
No testing to that.
We did test it last year.
Can you please inform us what is the result, please?
At this point in time, I don't have that information in front of me, but from my knowledge, I think while the coliform level was not as high as this, it still had coliform in there, and coliform is an indication of fecal contamination.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir. If there are no other, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Yu. Cooperation resumes. Seconded by Ms. Council. Resolutions from Council.
Okay, we have one resolution from Council for approval. Resolution for the release of title. Whereas the subdivision application have been filed with the Portland Municipal Corporation under subsection 5, subsection 1 of the Local Improvement Act for lands part of Victor Hall by Victor Hall. And whereas the said land is prescribed in the map prepared by Commission Land Surveyor, which maps or plans has been signed by the property owner and contain the required particulars concerning him, and whereas the municipal corporation had sought, obtained, and accepted the advice of government town planner and the chief technical director in the Ministry of Construction on the applications and draft conditions, and whereas conditions of approval have been accepted in writing by the applicant, and whereas that in accordance with Section 810 of the Local Improvement Act, the Portland Municipal Corporation sanctioned the subdivision of the lands in the parish of Portland, and whereas that the Honorable Minister of Environment, having confirmed the Municipal Corporation's decision under Section 8.5 of the Local Improvement Act, and whereas the setting out of road alignments and the lot boundaries on grounds in relation to the approved conditions of the said lands do conform with both the subdivision plans approved by the Municipal Corporation and the pre-checked plans bearing the respective survey department examination number for the said lands and have been confirmed by Commission Land Surveyor by voluntary declarations. And whereas the Acting Superintendent, Roads and Works, certifies by declaration that works relating to subdivision of the said lands have been satisfactorily completed and conditions imposed by the Portland Municipal Corporation in its resolutions have been met. Be it resolved that the title for lands part of Parsley Gardens by Victor Hall in the parish of Portland, being the lands contained in the respective surveyor's diagram, bearing the respective survey examination number and being the lands contained in the respective tax receipt and registered in the Register Book of Titles be issued. Be it further resolved that the common seal of the Portland Municipal Corporation be hereby affixed.
Council Vassie.
The common seal of the Portland Municipal Corporation was last utilized on May 20, 2024 for the release of titles by the Planning Department.
April. Must be April. May 20 don't come in. Yeah.
Oh, sorry about that. I did not realize. Sorry about that.
Okay.
It's February 20. February 20.
Motions and questions. Chairman's announcement. I just want to take the time out to remind us of the upcoming hurricane season, which starts on June 1st and ends on November 30th. All the various shelters in the parish have been inspected, and the parish is being prepared for any eventuality. Also, within the month of May, each year we celebrate Workers' Week and Labor Day. For this year, Workers' Week begins on Friday, May 17th, and culminates on Labor Day, May 23rd. The theme for Labor Day this year is persons with disabilities, the elderly and vulnerable, with the accompanying slogan, ramp up the access, show that you care. That is for Labor Day. The Labor Day Committee met yesterday, and focusing on the theme, we had decided that the parish project would be the construction of a ramp in one of our primary schools, so that this can benefit children who are disabled and uses a wheelchair. This will also ensure that no one is left behind. We have not decided on the projects, but yes, we know that we are going to do a school, but we asked Mr. Finley from the technical team to investigate, and we will decide at our next meeting. Next Tuesday is our next meeting, so we will decide on the project that we are going to, the school that we are going to do for Labor Day. The corporation continues to serve the citizens of Portland as it relates to the project in the parish. The corporation is also working on improving its water supplies to the various communities that we serve. As we are approaching the drought season, and we want to ensure that our customers and citizens are taken care of. As councillors, we cannot accomplish everything by ourselves. So we crave the assistance of our stakeholders and that continued close relationship as we strive to make Portland a model parish. I must also express thanks to those who have continued to partner with the corporation as we look forward to better days ahead. Okay, that's my announcement. Yes, as you are all aware that this evening at 6 o'clock, we will have a town hall meeting at the Marina. I know most persons are aware, and the councillors are mobilizing their people to come to the meeting this evening. So at 6 o'clock, we'll have a town hall meeting this evening at the Marina. Also, tomorrow there will be a groundbreaking ceremony for the drop-in center on the site of the Poor Relief office. So tomorrow at 10 o'clock, tomorrow, we'll have groundbreaking ceremony for the drop-in center. Those are my announcements. Okay. Adoption of reports and recommendations. Councillor Hunter and Mackenzie. Correspondence.
We have two correspondents from the Permanent Secretary within the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development regarding requests for guidance and information concerning administrative assistance for councillors under the Municipal Social Assistance Program that we know as MSAP. Reference is made to the Municipal Social Assistance Program, which among the areas provided for facilities support of administrative assistance for councillors. Please be advised that it is anticipated that consistent with the guidelines and the provisions of the MSAP, new councillors will be afforded similar courtesies for administrative assistance. This is a correspondence from the St. James Municipal Corporation. Resolution to amend the Criminal Records Rehabilitation of Offenders Act. Please see attached a certified true copy of a resolution passed by the St. James Municipal Corporation at its regular monthly meeting held on Thursday, April 11, 2024, seeking to amend the Criminal Records Act. The St. James Municipal Corporation is submitting same for your support. This resolution was moved by Councillor Charles Sinclair, seconded by Councillor Joshua Cummings. Whereas the Most Honorable Prime Minister, Andrew Michael Holness, has stated, we must do everything possible, including moral suasion, to re-incentivize to bring more Jamaicans back into the labor force. And whereas the government of Jamaica has launched the Community Action for Rewarding Engagement through Art NSTA. And whereas the government of Jamaica has invested in several other training programs to meaningfully engage and train Jamaicans with a view to upskilling the workforce and improving the quality of life. And whereas it is a requirement of many job opportunities for an applicant's criminal record to be produced. And whereas in 2014, the former Minister of Justice, Honorable Mark Golding, amended the Criminal Records Act, thereby creating a third schedule which made several offenses unexpungible. And whereas the maintenance of the said third schedule in its absolute form will result in persons who have paid their debt to society and benefited from reform, rehabilitation, and training would not be able to acquire an appropriate record to gain employment or to be licensed. Be it resolved that the Minister of Justice conduct review and appropriate amendment to the third schedule of Criminal Records Act to facilitate Jamaicans with spent convictions and who are reformed, rehabilitated, and trained to be given an opportunity to have their criminal record expunged. Be it further resolved that this resolution be sent to the Minister of Justice and other municipal corporations for their consideration and support. Certified true by Nordia Crosskill, Chief Executive Officer, St. James Municipal Corporation.
Local government reform.
No correspondence received for item 1617.
Notice of motion. Any other business? Okay, if there are no other business at this time, I will ask our Minister, the Honorable Desmond Mackenzie, to address Council.
Thank you, Chairman. Councillors, members of the administrative staff and the support team, various agencies. Good morning. First of all, let me congratulate the returning councillors and also the mayor and the deputy mayor, and extend welcome to the newly minted councillors who were elected in the last local government elections. It's an encouraging sign that the number of females in the council has gone up by 1. So it is an improvement. It's an improvement. And it is worthy of mentioning that quite a number of females were successful in the last local government election. So there is a balance in terms of the spread of male and females who are representing the various municipalities across the country. It is a pleasure to be back in Portland, and I know while there's a need for rain, I hope my coming here won't do. That is not the things that normally happen. When I do come, you get a lot of rain. I know that you need the rain, but not in excess. We have a full week or a full 2 days of activities in the parish. We have the town hall meeting later on this evening, and that town hall meeting will address a number of issues. We'll be speaking to the water crisis, the Minister without portfolio in the Office of Economic Growth and Job Creation, the Honorable Senator Machi Semuda, will be there to speak on the water issue. The question of disaster preparedness is always a topical issue here in Portland. And the fact that the last 4 major earthquakes that the country has experienced, the center of it was right here in Portland. So the town hall meeting this evening will
address the residents of Portland along these lines and other matters that we want to share with the people of Portland. But in this meeting this morning, I want to use the opportunity to urge the elected representatives to let us focus on the business of serving the people that elected us to these positions. I know for some of us, the taste of an event is still in the air, and we would want to use those events as a means of continuing our efforts. There's nothing wrong in that, but let us allow the people of Portland and right across to feel the effects of their elected representatives, especially those who are entering the arena for the first time. One of the first major events that will grab your attention, and the mayor did speak a little about it, is the National Labor Day project. An emphasis this year will be placed on the disabled. We'll be concentrating our efforts in our infirmaries and to ensure proper access. And Mayor, while I hear you mention a school, it is also important that the infirmary be included in your schedule of work for Labor Day as a part of your Labor Day activity. The Ministry of Local Government is going to be providing over $50 million to the municipalities across the island to support Labor Day activities. And we are doing that because it is important that the persons who are physically challenged should not feel intimidated by the lack of access to facilities. And I am hoping that your building and planning committees will pay attention to building applications, especially those that the public must access, to see that the requisite provisions are in place to facilitate persons who are physically challenged. Whatever road work that the municipality is going to be undertaking, we must ensure that our sidewalks are constructed in a way that it provides access. And it is not just the intention of the ministry to use Labor Day as the only day. We'll be working on a program that will allow the municipalities to do a lot more work in ensuring that persons with physical challenges have easier access to the public thoroughfare. The Spark program has commenced in terms of the consultations. We have already had 2 such consultations in the corporate area.
And this evening we're moving into St. Catherine with the second in the series of consultations. I want to say to the Portland Municipal Corporation that the Spark program is a program that is designed to deal in a significant way with community roads. And when I say community roads, the program is a $40 billion program. And the first phase of that program will see some $20 billion being spent on community roads. When we talk about community roads, the number of road network in the country has significantly increased. There is about 22,000 kilometers, and if you add an additional 5,000 kilometers of new developments, housing schemes across the country, we are close to 25,000 kilometers of road network across the country. And local government, community roads, bear the significant burden of those road networks. And so this program is one that is designed to be an inclusive program, where the consultations will be held in the various constituencies, divisions across the country, where the residents will have the opportunity to come to the consultations and raise concerns, recommend roads in the various communities. And once that is done, the National Works Agency, along with the Ministry of Local Government and your team that was in Kingston yesterday, got a presentation of what the road networking system is like, and the system that we have been using to capture data on all the roads in Portland. And we'll be able to give you shortly, once we have finished mapping the roads in Portland, a list of your roads. So you here in Portland, if councillor for this division want to know what is the condition of a particular road, the technology, and based on the work that has been done by the Ministry of Local Government and the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, we'll be able to show you the road, look at the condition of the road. So no longer that there's this guessing as to what the conditions of the roads are like. Once we have completed this exercise, it gives the government the opportunity to have full knowledge of our road network. But the Spark program, councillors and ladies and gentlemen, is important because it is the first time in the history of Jamaica that any government has ever attempted to spend this amount of money on roads, and having the citizens, the residents, being a part of the decision-making process. And I want to assure the councillors that this is not an MP or a councillor's program. And the purpose of this is to take the politics out of the repairs of roads. And the effort to make this program transparent. Because, you know, when you're spending this kind of money, when the Auditor General comes to audit the program, we must be in a position to account for every road, why this road was placed. And that is why the consultations with the residents is important. And the program is in the first phase, over 2 years. And the consultations have started. So if we do the consultations here in Port Antonio, and we have 5 roads, those roads will be assessed, the costing done, and then it will be put out to tender. So everybody, local contractors and international contractors, will be able to tender on this program. So this is not a road program where you're going to patch roads. This program does not patch roads. This program carry out rehabilitation of roads. And it would include putting in drains, sidewalks. And it is expected that once the roads are rehabilitated, we are expecting the roads to last 7 to 8 years once the rehabilitation of that road is completed. And I just want to make it clear that there is no turning back on this program. And there are some mischief makers out there talking about that we're postponing the program because the money not there. Lie, mischief, they're making. This program is designed for the first time to move in a serious and decisive way in addressing the conditions of community roads across the country. The program through the Constituency Development Fund, MEGJC, NAA, and the Ministry of Local Government. It is a collective effort by all of these agencies to bring some respect to community roads across Jamaica. So Portland, when your turn comes for the consultations, you will be able, along with the respective communities, make the kind of representations that is going to be required on this program. And let me say this. This program will not be shortchanged. And the commitment of the government is that this must be a transparent program that can undertake any examination, because it is going to be done in a way that is going to make Jamaicans proud of our efforts in bringing an end, not fully, to bad roads. The intent of the program is not, we won't be able to repair all the roads. And let me say this. The Spark program does not replace the monthly routine program done by the National Works Agency and by the Municipal Corporation. So you're not losing any funds to facilitate the Spark program. you will still have your monthly allocations. And so as we look forward with great anticipation to the outcome of a game-changing initiative by this government, I want to solicit the support of every councillor and every community, every member of parliament in making this program a success. The issue of the administrative assistance program, again, we coming out of the silly season, or we're still in the silly season, where some people is trying to distract and to discredit this program. I like to talk about when I became a councillor in 1977. As a councillor then, I never benefited from what councillors now are getting. We never know what a monthly allocation was in 1977. We weren't paid. And in 2016, this administration introduced for the first time 3 levels of assistance for councillors. We introduced the back to school, the education program, the housing grant, and the funeral grant. And because of COVID, we had to cut back on some of that because of COVID. But there are some municipalities who continue to support the programs, and once they made the submission, they have been reimbursed. But we went a step further by providing councillors with assistance to either open an office or to employ an administrative assistant. That has never happened before. Not because there has been an election, it means that the program has stopped. What it means is that those councillors who were returned, who want to continue with the individuals that they have, it is up to them. And the new councillors should now be given the opportunity to select the person that they choose to work with them, whether they want to use an individual or they want to rent an office. There is no truth that the program is discontinued. None of the programs that this administration have started for the benefit of councillors, we have watered them down. In fact, we have increased our support to these programs. And I want to urge the councillors to use the administrative assistant position, use it wisely. Because I know of councillors who have used it and have benefited significantly out of that program. And I want to say one thing to all of us here. The results of the local government election have also sent a message to us that people are expecting much more from us. And it don't matter which party you belong. Because when they talk about us, they heap us, they heap the whole of us into one basket. And we have an obligation to the people who put us here to do what is right. So I want to urge you this morning in this new dispensation to approach your job as councillors in a more meaningful way. This administration will continue its relentless reform of local government to make local government much more accessible to the people. When I look at your return from property tax collection for the last financial year, not encouraging, neither good nor bad, but a lot more needs to be done. And the councillors need to understand and appreciate that property taxes play an important role in the administration of local government. An important role. I'll be meeting with the councillors privately later on. And there are some things I will say to them that I'm not prepared to say publicly. But I want to encourage all of us to become more focused on what we're doing. And I am a bit disappointed listening to the reports from the soup on the Buff Bay market. I would have expected that a proper assessment would have been done. But it is apparent that something went wrong. And I am hoping that the work on the Buff Bay market will be done quickly and done properly so that the vendors can come off the street and go into the market. The Musgrave market is also advanced in terms of what needs to be done to that market. And let me just say that we have to be patient when it comes on to carrying out repairs to facilities after a fire. Because the Buff Bay market is going to be the Musgrave market is going to be the first market in Jamaica that will be equipped with all the firefighting facilities to prevent fire, to help to prevent fire. So we're not just putting back a market. We have already concluded all the drawings and the designs to put in a proper fire system in that market. And I'm sure that when that work is completed, the vendors will feel much safer. But Mayor, you also need to begin the conversation on the council with the vendors, because they themselves also have a role to play in how they use the market facilities. And don't wait until the work is done. You begin that engagement. You need to start that engagement from now so that they understand and appreciate that despite the fact that it is their tax dollar that is being used to build back the market, it is also their lack of understanding and appreciation that has created a lot of the problems that we face when it comes on to vending. And I would like to urge you and the municipality to begin those consultations. Back in Kingston, Ray Ground has experienced 14 fires. The last one is the 14th fire at Railway Ground in downtown in the last 8 years. And it speaks to a lack of indiscipline, erosion of public order in public places because a lot of people take for granted, well, it's government business, so we can't do anything, not knowing that they are the government. And I want to urge, Mayor, that deliberations commence in short order. So let me wish for the municipality all the best in this new administration. Good to see you again, Dexter. And my namesake, I thought you would make it. But it's good to see you all, and have a good day, and thank you.
Any questions for the minister?
Thank you. I'm glad for this Spark program. I think it will make a tremendous contribution to keeping the road in good order. But as the minister said, everyone knows that Portland is the rain capital of Jamaica. And over the past few months, it has done a lot of damages to road. For instance, speaking for my division, I have 2 roads in my division that has become impassable. So I'm asking if there's any emergency funds or special funds that the minister maybe can send here to help out.
Your Worship, I'm sort of happy for this meeting. I don't know if it's because of my namesake, but I really want to commend the minister, as always shown to me. Well, Mackenzie is Mackenzie every time. So I don't want to, I am a bit biased, because when it comes to Minister Mackenzie, sometimes I forget the politics. But I'm being frank. You have demonstrated a level of care. It shows in terms of your visits and your expressions and what follows. So I commend you for how you treat with Portland, and I just want you to continue.
I just want to put on record my thanks to the government and, of course, the minister for the implementation of the Spark program. I'm Orton Manahan, councillor for the Hope Bay Division, newly minted, as stated before. Yes, because in light of what has just happened with the recent heavy rains and the havoc that it created in the Hope Bay Division, especially in the Claverty main road, the Spark program coming on board now is of significant importance to the development and rehabilitation of that road. So I am sure that the residents of Claverty, Bloomfield, and the other surrounding communities will be thankful that this program will come on board and it will address many of their concerns. So thank you very much, Minister.
Through the chair, Ashley Cleary, Councillor Theory Division. Welcome to the parish, Minister. Nice to have you with us today. As it relates to the road program, the Sparks program, one of the things that we must be careful of is the level of work that is put in by the contractors. Because many times roads are done, and I'm sure the people are not pleased, nor the councillors. So we have to ensure that we get persons who will do the work properly, because at the end of it, doesn't make sense you get the road today, and tomorrow you'll be crying about the same situation. So thanks again for coming. We are grateful for the roads that will be fixed, and as we go forward, may we get proper work that all can be pleased. Thank you.
Let me just respond to the question you raised. As I said before, once the assessment of the road is done, this thing will be put out to tender. It will go through the procurement process, tender both at local and international level. Local contractors can tender, international contractors can tender, because this program has to go through the proper channel. Let me say this. I've said it before. This is not a patching program. We're not patching roads. We are rehabilitating roads. And that is why we have developed the road system where we have, using technology, every road, even what is known as a bridle track, which is in the Roads and Works Act. We are capturing all of them so we know the conditions of the roads. The National Water Commission is a part of the planning and the discussions. The National Water Commission will be able, when we sit with them, NAA, local authorities, the CDF, we're fixing this road. What are your plans? Have the consultations and get the roads coming out of these consultations. And we just run and do the work. No, not this project. Accountability, transparency is the order of the day for this park program. And that is why it is going through, we're using the system, because we want the communities to be a part of the decision making. We don't want nobody accuse a mayor or a councillor or an MP. And let me say this, the last thing I'm going to say on this. This is not a political program. This is the government of Jamaica, the government of Prime Minister Andrew Holness. $40 billion. And the money is, don't make nobody tell you that there's no money to do it. That is mischief. So don't worry about whether or not the work has to be done and must be done to the prescribed agreement that will be done when the assessment and the contract is done. Okay?
Any other question for the minister? Okay, minister. We are really happy to have you here this morning, especially to bring clarity on the different areas of concern by the councillors and the citizens alike, to include the Sparks program and the administrative assistance program. Because, as you said, sir, it has been rumored that this Spark program will never get to go on because there is no money to do it, and the government don't have any money. So I'm happy that you are here to tell us that the Spark program will go on as was planned. And we are very comfortable now to know that, because some of the citizens are concerned about the rumors that they are hearing that the roads are not going to be fixed. So I thank you again for clarity on those areas, Minister, and I hope we will continue to hear from you as soon as we go on with these programs. Okay, thank you again, Minister. If there are no other questions, can someone, are you saying something? Oh, the minister didn't respond to your question.
I would just say that I really appreciate this park program. It's going to make a tremendous contribution to the road network. But I was just saying that, because Portland is the rain capital of Jamaica, a lot of rain over the past few months has damaged road. In my division, I would have 2 roads that has become impassable. So I'm just wondering if there's a special occasion it could make to make these roads passable again.
Well, as I said before, the SPARK program is not to replace the PRF program. So if there are situations that require assistance that the MC can't provide, then there's a channel that a request can be made. And if the funds are available, we will definitely try and assist. But just to advise you also that a letter will be coming shortly to the CEO to advise that the PRF, in terms of mitigation exercise, that funds will be made available. You can use the 2 months of the PRF that is so designed for mitigation, drain cleaning, in anticipation of the hurricane season. So that correspondence will be coming shortly.
Okay, Councillor Rowland. Okay. Say what you want. Now is the time to say, Councillor Rowland.
Not fully okay, because, as I said, the roads has become impassable. People cannot drive on it again. If it's an emergency, like a medical or fire or anything like that, trouble.
Yeah, but if that is the case, you have a superintendent and you have the team. If there's an emergency where the road is impassable and the road is blocked, you can't access the road. You have your SGR, which is for emergency use, that can be used if that is the case. Once the assessment is made that it requires that can be done.
Just let me respond to the councillor. The matter was discussed at our meeting earlier this week, at the infrastructure meeting. An estimate was done for the repairs to the road, and the recommendation is forthcoming to the CO to be taken from the SGR. In fact, the estimate is already dispatched to the CO and ready to the last minutes, and recommendation is forthcoming for the SGR.
Okay, thank you, Zuko. I'm sure that will answer your question. Okay. We have come to the end of our meeting. Can someone ask for the minutes to be officially adjourned, please? Okay, thank you all for coming.